The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is e-Coffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, E-Coffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Terry Zelen, who is the President and Creative Director of Zelen Communications with us. Hey, Terry, how's it going?
Doing great. Thank you. How are you today?
Doing well. Can't really complain.
Good.
So, Terry, before we move any forward, let's go back, and talk about your journey a bit. And how did you start your own agency and, then take it from there? You went from marine biology, chemistry, and to now leading a top creative agency. That is one heck of a journey. Talk us through it.
Well, my brother and sister both went to school for marketing in a school in Arizona State, and neither one of them are in the business. And I went to school for marine science, marine biology, and chemistry, and I am the one in marketing. So the world moves in strange ways.
Exchange hands, maybe, you never know.
Yeah, exactly right.
And Zelen Communications, and we were discussing about it earlier as well. Really, you guys have been early adopters of AI in the marketing workflow. Talk us through, the AI storm which hit us in 2022 when ChatGPT kind of came to our lives. Us being in the product segment, like I was explaining earlier, we know for a matter of fact, AI was always there, right? Prior to ChatGPT. Just that,
Sure.
it kind of, I would say, invaded us. I don't know, for the lack of a better word, in November of 2022. Talk us through, how those early days were, how you guys adopted. What is the best use of AI that you guys are making at Zelen Communications now?
Absolutely. So we've been exploring AI for probably 2.5 to 3 years at this point. We've always been early adapters, as you noted. We started doing websites before really there was no CMS systems. There was no WordPress. There was just straight HTML. And you used to have to slice a homepage into a million pieces to get it load, through a dial-up modem. But we saw that as being the future, quickly shifted over into developing custom websites. That's all we do for our clients is custom. We never use templates. It's all WordPress. But we do sophisticated e-commerce solutions, things that most agencies won't do. It's just not within their purview or their expertise to do these types of websites. But we adopted AI because we saw that as definitely the leading force here going forward. I saw a rather scary statistic that read that in 18 months, all marketing firms will be gone. Everybody said when the internet came out that everybody would go down the drain as well. But AI is going to significantly impact every industry in the world. There's nobody who's not going to be untouched. There was a recent thing where Microsoft laid off 7,000 people, and a lot of them were programmers. And so we're going to see a great deal more of this. But there's an old saying here is adapt, flee, or die. So we are adapting quickly, and we started early. So we are way ahead of most agencies. And our goal is to find not just solutions for ourselves to streamline our processes, make better decisions through the use of AI, but we help it to make a lot of things quicker and easier for our team. The last thing I want to do is replace team. I want to enhance my team. So we utilize AI in every way to make our team more sophisticated and more efficient. So we use AI in a lot of different ways. Different members of our team use it for different things. So our SEO team and our PPC team use it to analyze keywords, look at strategy, look at and help analyze what they're doing and how we can outperform them, whether it's through better keywords, better strategy, better content, what have you. And then we use AI in tandem with our team to help develop content that performs better than we would have before. We're also able to cut down times so we can go quicker to market and help improve outcomes. Additionally, we use it for pitch. We've had opportunities to go after some larger pieces of business, and that was rather daunting to look at the time frame that we had to develop the overall pitch, and we used AI to help us put together the comprehensive strategy, but then our team whittled it down and developed the core pitch itself and we're able to do it in 25% of the time of a traditional process.
Nice, lovely. And then what is the your go-to AI tool now these days?
I'm using ChatGPT for concepting, for content, for strategy, but I use Midjourney all the time. I'm not as much into video, but I have used some of the video tools. I've coming out of a personal trauma where my house flooded, so I haven't been able to do much fun things, just trying to get the house back up and running. So that's my office, is my home. My whole team is virtual. They have been since 2019. So we have people in India, we have people in South America, and then we have people in other areas of the US. So virtual has always been kind of a part of who we are. So I have a really great team that works from all different areas of the world, which is great.
Nice, lovely. You have written for Forbes using
Yes.
AI in agency workflows. So what is your
Yes.
number one rule for avoiding generic and, soulless content?
Yeah, I write for Forbes. I'm on the marketing council. I just had an article that came out. I was one of the participants in an article that came out Monday, actually. So I've been with them about 2 years, going on my second year with them, and I write about AI just because that's something that we're highly focused on. But I think what happens if you look at it, we started in the early days testing AI for content, and it was horrible. So it would just repeat, and it was very obvious. We've probably gone through 5 or 6 different AI tools now for content writing. But what we do is we have a human copywriter who's been working for us for probably 25 plus years experience in the field. She manages all the content to make sure that it reads correctly, cross-references our brand, standards for the clients and so forth. So she manages that content and ensures that it is not generic and rote.
Yeah. Nice. And talking about content, what metrics do you track to measure the storytelling effectiveness of particular, let's say, article, guest blog, whatever?
A single article is hard to track because a lot of times you are writing content for Google more than you're writing it for the consumer, unfortunately. Depending on the content itself is going to tell you how much traction it's going to get online. We have had great success in using it for real estate, trying to create like a 360 view of what it's like to live in a particular area. And the articles that we develop for that, the real estate, tend to be interesting to people because we'll write articles of like, what are great things to do on the weekends in this area? What types of activities can you do around this community that you're going to live in? So trying to develop a 360 perspective of living in a particular location. The content there is interesting to consumers because it talks about what it's like to live in the area before they decide to buy there. So that content is much more relevant than writing about a direct mail company and how it's beneficial to use a direct mail company to produce your postcards, which is not going to get read by pretty much anyone, but Google like.
Yes. And then taking a clue from that, what are the biggest marketing mistakes you see businesses kind of still making in 2025? And how would you course correct them?
So we've been at this, I've been at this for over 35 years, and we come into different categories of clientele. So we'll come to a client that is new. They've never worked with an agency before. There's a lot of hand-holding and education. Then there's clients who have worked with other agencies and it may have been a bad situation. So now we come in, we have to regain their trust because the last system was not very good that they worked through, or they worked with somebody that only knew certain things. So they knew Facebook, but they didn't know how to do LinkedIn, or they knew how to do Instagram, but they had no idea how to do ads or boosting or strategy when it comes to the content development. So we find that a lot of agencies tend to be, let's say, a one-trick pony. So they know how to do these things and they only sell these things to the client, but you don't want a B2B client on Facebook, you want them on LinkedIn. So picking the proper channel for the proper audience is the key to success. And a lot of times agencies, when they don't know that format, they will shy away from using it and send them down the wrong direction and get bad results. And we find that a lot.
Absolutely. Finally, Terry, what is your current philosophy on omni-channel marketing and how are you helping clients beyond just digital to create cohesive brand worlds?
So I think that we have a unique perspective on that. I started in the agency world in the 90s, and back then there was no internet. There were no, in fact, the Mac computer had just come out when I was getting out of college, and I adopted the Apple computer platform because I knew that was the way the agency world was going to go. So what happened was, you look at how the evolution of the agency world has gone, and you have to adapt to it over time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really strategic. When up until about 2008, I would say that we were 85 to 90% traditional advertising, meaning print brochures, newspapers, magazines, billboards, direct mail. We did all of that. And it was probably 85% of our marketing.
Lovely.
After 2008, when there was a very large recession in the United States, nobody wanted to spend those dollars, but they were very willing to spend their money online. And we had already adapted to that platform and were developing websites. And we already were doing SEO and some pay-per-click at that point. So now we're probably 95% online marketing, 5% traditional marketing, maybe 10. But when we approach a project, we commit everything that is all the different platforms, because you have to fish where the audience is. You have to fish where the fish are. So we have always done omni-channel because the sum of the parts are stronger than the pieces alone. You can get PR that you do for a client can enhance their SEO by getting really high quality links from, let's say, a TV network that posted, we got an article with a magazine, a high-end magazine, or a newspaper with a great deal of visibility, high domain authority. We're getting backlinks from PR that we would have had a very difficult time getting through traditional SEO. So those types of symbiosis between the different types of channels in marketing can work together in ways that a lot of firms don't think about it. So we've always been omni-channel and believe that's a very strong strategy.
Lovely, lovely. Finally, Terry, you would have worked with a lot of clients, you've seen enough summers and winters in the business, right? A lot of clients you have dealt with. Give us your favorite client story. Which one is the...
So I'd say Outback Steakhouse was our favorite, one of my favorite experiences. Outback was a huge restaurant chain. They still are very large. We came into them at a relatively early age and in the agency's history. And a friend of mine actually became the marketing director. She gave us an opportunity to do one piece of work. And if we didn't mess that up, we would get to stay on and do more. And there were about 6 other agencies at the time that worked for her. So we were one of 6. And then they also had a big agency in New York. And over time, I would say about 5 years, we were the last agency standing. So everyone else had messed up. We had ended up with the rest of the account. We didn't do their TV and the radio, but we did their website twice. We did all of their marketing. We did direct mail. We did fulfillment projects for them. We did some filming for them, and we did menu design, everything. We're actually designing the exteriors and the interiors of the restaurants. We had grown to the point where they had trusted us to do a great deal of went beyond marketing. It was really helping them strategically plan with the restaurants.
Lovely. Great, Terry. Thank you so much for the insights you shared. This has been a lovely conversation. But before we let you go, I would like to play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game for it.
Sure, why not?
All right, your last Google search.
My last Google search?
Yes.
This morning.
What was that?
What is my last... The question is, when was my last Google search?
What was your last Google search?
My last Google search. Wow.
Yeah.
I was probably looking for a product for a client.
Come on. All right. All right. Typical entrepreneur. Okay. The next one, your celebrity crush, Terry. Go for it.
I've never been a big celebrity person, so I can't say that I really have one.
Okay. Where do we find you on Friday evenings, Terry? After office or after you've done the SEO magic for your clients?
Well, that's going to be really boring because I'll have a glass of wine and I'll sit there and actually work with AI.
Okay. All right. What did you do with the first paycheck of your life, Terry, if you remember that?
Wow. I think I went out and bought a car because I never owned a car until I was out of college.
Okay. All right, Terry, we'll not grill you any further. You have been a sport. For our audiences, if they want to reach out to you, how would they do that?
They can go to our website at zelencomm.com, and there they can find out more about our agency, and they can see some of the work that we've done, both traditionally online and with AI.
Lovely. Thank you once again, Terry. This has been a great session. Yeah. Cheers.
Great. Cheers to you.